morning, sir. Thank you very much. When I come to Amritsar, I feel that we are honored because एक तीर्थ यात्रा हो जाती है एक तरह से अमृतसर आना. So Professor Bansal, Indian Science Congress is very kind. They call me in Patiala or Amritsar. These are the two places. So Patiala में वो दुख निवारण गुरुद्वारा है और यहाँ पर शीशगंज. तो इसी तरह से हमारी एक वंडरफुल जर्नी हो जाती है. Food is an item which is, I think, all living animals and generally the human being have to be concerned about. What do we eat? Is it good, bad, and what is its after effects? Even though I am not a great scientist, not a food technologist, I think I am very particular when I eat. इसके विटामिन डी होता है कि इसमें विटामिन ए होता है, क्या होता है, इससे पेट ठीक हो गया, कॉन्स्टिपेशन हो जाती है, all these kind of things, because everything is related with the food and stomach, and that is the basis of your health. So when we talk of this subject, the genetically modified crops, one wonder what are we going to eat when it is called as modified? Because we are all born in the natural environments the God has given here, and the food was never artificially manufactured, at least in the earlier days, about 30-40 years back. We were eating what was naturally produced and processed later on to suit our requirement. But about 25 years back, that is where the Disneyland, new Disneyland has come, Epcot Center. That Epcot Center, when you visited that and saw one of the areas where they were saying biotechnologically developed this food, big kaddu, इतनी बड़ी घिया बड़ी हुई, कमाल होगी. अमेरिका में बहुत अच्छी अच्छी चीजें बनती हैं, हिंदुस्तान में तो घिया इतनी सी होगी ऐसे होगी वहाँ पर. Because then they explained there that these are the new technologies they are trying to bring, and which will give a higher crop, better crop, and to overcome the shortages. This is one way of doing it. I didn't know that this will become a controversial subject in the years to come. But today, this is a very important subject. It's fine, because cotton is not something we are eating. It's not affecting us, but directly. But cotton production higher is a good thing. But when we are producing the food in a mass thing, and by chemical methods, there is always a scare. Iska kya hoga? Something bad can happen and all that. At the same time, the government of India has a great responsibility for the food, as any government would be. And when I was going through some papers, I realized that government is doing a big job. For the food, 1,30,000 crores are being spent as food subsidy, and with the latest bill passed, almost 800 million. 67% of your population will be getting the food at a cheaper rate, which is a great thing in such a large country to be done. The only question is if it is well managed. That's not. Every year we will be spending 90,000 crores of rupees to subsidize the food. And I think 70% of the people are covered, which is a very good thing the government is doing to ensure the security of the food, that everybody should be able to have an access for the food. Next question is very that how to meet the requirement. That is a part. But at the same time, in India today, this is very interesting that food grain production in India is number 1 in the world. It is not less. And pulses production. We are only second in terms of fresh vegetables. Now with such a large production going on and not totally genetically managed, it is still with the old methods going on in almost 70-80%. Then the question arises, why do we need the GM crops? Why do we need the chemical, these pesticides and all these kind of things? And GM crops are controversial world over. It is not only in India. Because they do not fit the pillars of food security defined by credible agencies like WHO. Apart from the monopolistic control of seeds, control of our food systems by seed companies, and cost of high cultivation for farmers, there is a growing scientific evidence on the health and environment risk of the GM crops. Therefore, GM crops do not pass the food safety criterion, which is very vital to the food security. Very recently, 150 scientists from around the country have also expressed their displeasure at the unscientific advocacy of the GM crops by the Minister of Agriculture on the food security part of it. Addressing a press conference, the well-known Professor Bruce Chesey, Professor of Food Science and Nutrition at the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign in USA, stated in a press release, with more than half of the world's population now living in countries that have adopted GM crops, it might be appropriate to reduce the regulatory scrutiny of GM crops to a level that is commensurate in science-based risk assessment. Because a lot of people think, "आ ही रहा है, इसको खा ही लो, क्या प्रश्न है?" So why do we go through this test process? But the problem is the scientists like Professor Dalok Singh, they will say we must see with normal food हमारी गेहूं अच्छी मिलती है. Why should we get into the chemically processed, pesticide thing? Because there is also a belief that a lot of diseases are coming out of this, which are new diseases. Of course, the medical science is growing to take care of toxicological evaluation, allergenically assessment, compositional analysis, and all these kind of things, which are more done in the USA, and I don't know if it is done here. The food technologists will know if all these things are done here in India. But then WHO has a great role to play in this, what food they recommend, or what is tested, what is approved, and then we look forward to that. But I just want to say that the spread of cancer, which is going so widely spread now, even for a day, they want to see you do the operation with the new technologies and get the hell out of here. So all these kind of things, and one of my friends, daughter in Thailand, she got a new sickness, shrinking of pulmonary arteries. This is also something like shrinking of skin on your hands and everything. It is shrinking so that you don't know. These are new diseases. So all these kind of things are coming up which we have never heard of. God says the medical science is improving to do this, and a lot of people are now trying to complain in the normal fashion that Dr. Swaminathan is a great food technologist. He gave us pesticides in this country and all this, and great scientists are sitting here, Dr. Chahal, Dr. Ketrapal, but only to increase the production of the food. What about its quality? Why we cannot stick to the old thing of thing, only perhaps to meet the production? It becomes a sort of marketing and need to meet the requirement of the human. As if we did not know what was the organic food. We were all brought up with the organic food, at least at our age. We are brought up with organic food only. And now we are getting organic food at least 50% higher cost than the chemically produced food. So that's another thing going on. And then at the end of the day, if मियाँ बीवी दोनों काम करते हैं तो बेस्ट है या वो सोयाबीन की वो आ रही हैं फूड, बनी बनाई फूड मिलती हैं, पैकेट लो बनाओ खाओ और चलो. दूसरे भी मिलते हैं ऐसे all processed food and do it. You forget about the natural food thing. So all these things are coming up. I think this is a one subject which need to be gone into in big details, and I'm sure you will be doing it for the day today. Recently in Indian Science Congress Delhi chapter regional conference we had, Dr. Tariq Anwar was there, the new minister for the food. So he was, a lot of people asked him, what about this GM brinjal? अभी बैंगन तो वैसे ही नहीं अच्छा लगता कई लोगों को, अगर उसमें ना ही हो ये जेनेटिक मॉडिफाइड तो क्या फर्क पड़ता है. But in any case, this is a good subject to discuss about. But if you ask personally, I would say you want to stick to, go to a village, stay there. That is when people want to get out of the city and stay there, have the natural food, have lassi, makhan, parathe, and वो वाली देसी फूड खाओ, ताकि उसमें आपकी GM फूड का कोई अंश ना हो. Now we are looking for that. अब उसके लिए तरस जाए, ऐसा काम नहीं होना चाहिए. I think we are living in a healthy state like Punjab, where we are brought up by eating good food, and I only hope that we don't get the GM butter or the GM milk one day, so that it will be difficult to find what is correct and what is not correct. Well, this is an area which needs a lot of debate, and I think people world over are not clear. Let me tell you, it's not only India. Whether it's America, whether it's Indonesia, whether it is Japan, nobody is clear what is good and what is bad. It is like meeting the need of the growing population. We have to produce the food so that it meets the needs of everybody. I only want to say a couple of more things. That when I asked in my office one of my colleagues, what does GM stands for? He said, General Manager. That's good. I said, yeah, GM food के बारे में चुप हो गया. He doesn't know anything about food. Then I asked my son, he's one of cars, GM, General Motors. So here you are talking of genetically modified food, and recently I've been trying this soya bean. I'm so happy. About 30 years back, I went to Columbus, Ohio. That was perhaps the only factory producing the soya bean food about 35 years back, which is producing everything. You call, they will produce sausages, they will produce bacon and all those things in the form of even chicken things, but it is actually soya bean, nothing else. Now it is produced in India by several companies, and some of them are producing excellent quality, and I think you have that, that's good. So that is also a processed food, but I don't know how far GM is playing a role there. So I'm very happy that Indian Science Congress has allowed me to ask to come here and meet you ladies and gentlemen. And I'm glad that there are more ladies here than gentlemen, because food is a subject of the ladies. Because unless you give good food, I think the men are not going to be under your control. उनकी आपकी शादी सिर्फ फूड के थ्रू ही है. खाना खिलाओगे अच्छा तो वो अपने आप सीधे हो गया है. So with this, I am very pleased that this food technology session is inaugurated, and I hope you have an interesting discussions today. Maybe I would like to know the outcome of it later in the day, because I will be leaving in the afternoon, that the scientists will never give a clear verdict. Because they can, as my experience is, the scientists, either they scare, and the politicians, they will always give you good dreams. So I don't know whether scientists today will give you good dream or scare. This is bad, this is good. So wish you good luck and have a nice day.